angle, at least for this break, because there's hundreds of cards to get through. 72 packs. 15 cards a pack plus one sticker per pack. The stickers are my favorite part of this product. Takes me back to being a little kid and ripping these Fleer packs. 1987 was the year of the home run. A bunch of guys just broke out and hit a ton of home runs. Happened to be the year that the original RBI baseball came out for Nintendo, and so it had Andre Dawson and Mark McGwire and Dale Murphy and all these guys on it that had 40 plus homers, and you could just hit moonshots on that video game. So this is like straight out of my childhood. So what I'm going to do, each person in the break is getting 6 packs. So you'll get 90 cards. I'm just going to go one person at a time and just kind of work down the list that way. I already wrote down everybody's name on some post-it notes so that I can kind of stick it to the piles and keep track that way. What's up, guys?
I came in.
You guys want to come in?
No, my feet are wet.
Okay.
I want to come in.
Okay, hey, you can come in for a little bit, alright? Play video games for a little bit while I do this, okay? Alright?
Can I play Mom's tablet?
No, play video games for a little bit, okay? Thank you. Alright. Alright, so the first person up is Dan P. Dan Parso. RBI Baseball, Kevin, one of the all-time great games. Really the OG of baseball games. Classic game. I remember being a little kid and my dad just kicking my butt on it because he kept throwing curveballs. I said, "No, Dad, you're supposed to throw it straight to me and let me win." But he never did. No, he did sometimes. But all right, I'm going to move one of these out of the way. And we'll just kind of work our way through them kind of straight out of the box like this for organization's sake. First 6 packs, again, are for Dan, so I'm going to kind of just grab 6 out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Move the box out of the way. And experiment with this camera angle here. It's going to be a little bit different. I think I'm going to have some fun and kind of display the guys that have, like, I don't know. Maybe I won't. It'll be too hard to keep everybody's stacks together, but I don't know. Just spitballing. All right. So here we go. 15 cards per pack. These first 6 are going to all be for Dan Parso. And then, obviously, later on, probably this evening, after I look through your stacks, I'll send you a list of all your eligible players for the Derby. And then you'll choose 9 players to be in it. Here's the stickers. These are really cool. I love these. Of course, we get the Tigers there. And then there's a stadium on the back. This one's Tiger Stadium. Old school Tiger Stadium. Very cool. So, alright. I'm just going to kind of fly through these. And I'll stop on some of the bigger guys. But Rob Murphy. There's a cool one. Slugging shortstops. Tony Fernandez, Cal Ripken, and Alan Trammell. That's a pretty cool card. Juan Agosto, John Marzano, Frank DePino, Dan Plesac, hitting, kind of neat. Terry Harper, Pat Perry, Rick Rushell, Frank Tanana, John Kruk with the Padres. That'd be a decent one because he has 20 homers and a 300 average. Obviously, I'll DM everybody what that means. Nate Snell and Rick Rodriguez. So the game that we're going to play, for those that weren't able to watch it or participate back during the anniversary a couple months ago, I have a dice game, and all of the results are pretty much based on a player having 20 or more home runs, or 20 or less. That determines what side of the dice board we will use, and then each column is for batting average. So batting average and home runs matter in this. So there's a Blue Jays sticker. I love these. Corey Snyder, 30 plus homers that year. Buddy Bell, Crunch Time, Darryl Strawberry, and Eric Davis. I know this camera angle's terrible. Dave Smith, Ron Hassey, Leon Durham's decent. Glenn Braggs, Paul Ossenmacher, Mike Campbell, Mike Krukow, Matt Noakes for the Tigers. Had a huge rookie year, and then never really did anything again after that. There's Cal Ripken, pretty cool. Mike Marshall, Dennis Eckersley. That was a good pack. That's another fun thing about ripping this old stuff is some of these guys went on to be Hall of Famers. And there's the old school White Sox sticker. That's cool. Oral Hershiser, one of those guys when I was a kid thought was going to be a Hall of Famer. Jay Aldrich, Jeff Blauser, Eric Bell, Kevin Bass, Edwin Nunez, Steve Lake, Mark Thurmond, Kirk McCaskill, Dale Mahoric, Mike Eldreddy, Gene Nelson, Chris Brown, Ed Romero, Len Dykstra. Also, just the fact that after like 35 years, just opening these packs. These were some of my favorite stickers, the ones that had the red and white team names down here, plus the logos. We got the old school Expos there. That's cool. I like that. Andre Scalaraga, good player. Big Cat. Charlie Liebrandt. Prospects, Greg Jelks and Tom Newell. Jimmy Key, Keith Miller, Brian Downing, Glenn Wilson, Tony Gwynn and Vince Coleman. That's cool. John Morris, Ron Kittle, R.J. Reynolds, Steve Lombardozzi, All-Star Team, Tom Henke, Jeff Treadway, Mark Eichhorn. All right, Dan's got two more packs here. Here we go. Mets and Brewers sticker. Love those. I just love these stickers so much. Floyd Humans, Mark Gubaza, Prospects, Greg Myers and Greg Tabor, Edwin Correa, David Cohn, Greg Minton, Kent Colvey, Masters of the Double Play, Ozzie Smith and Ryan Sandberg. That's a cool card. Two Hall of Famers there. Jose Oquendo, Jerry Royster, Sid Bream, an All-Star card of Paul Molitor. I don't think we're going to use the All-Star Team cards because they don't have the statistics on the back. And Bill Landrum. Alright, Dan. Last pack for Dan. Oakland A's sticker. Jim Clancy, Thad Bosley, Vince Coleman, Tom Foley, Doug Jones, Jim Sundberg, Ozzie Guillen, John Shelby, Jim Gantner, Jim Acker, Jeff Ballard, Craig Reynolds, John Moses, and Kurt Ford. So there is Dan P's stack. Kind of set that out of the way, put his name with it. Next up is going to be Jared. So I'm going to snatch 6 packs out of here for Jared. That should be 6 there. Yep. Alright, 6 packs for Jared. Still hoping to see some an Andre Dawson or Dale Murphy. McGuire would be cool. Another Oakland A's sticker there. Back when the A's were amazing. Shawan Dunston, Carlton Fisk, Sean Hilligus. That's kind of cool. Big bats at first. Pat Tabler and Mark McGuire. Zane Smith, Mark Williamson, Alan Ashby, Jim Presley. We got prospects of Jim Eppert and Joey Meyer. I'm hoping to see like some prospects that actually panned out from one of these prospect cards. Eric King, Gus Polidor, Larry Parrish, Craig Lefferts, Carney Lansford. That'd be a good one. Tim Flannery with the surfboard. That's a cool card. That's pretty funny. I've not seen that one before. Mariners sticker. Gene Garber, Terry Pendleton, Steve Crawford, Wallace Johnson, Carmen Castillo, Rafael Palmeiro. Jim Wynn, Pedro Guerrero, he was really good back in the day. Cecil Cooper, Andres Thomas, Mike Boddicker, Jose Cruz, Harold Reynolds, Lee Tunnell, Walt Terrell. Again, sorry I'm kind of just ripping through these quick. Obviously, with this being an old product, there's like not really any hits in it, so to speak. Dodgers and Indians, old school Indians logo there. Dominican Dynamite, George Bell and Pedro Guerrero. This was the year George Bell won MVP. David Green, Tommy John, that's cool. Brett Gideon, Tom Bernansky, 30 plus homers that year. All-Star team, Teddy Higuera, Tom Hume, Kelly Gruber, John Davis, Danny Cox, Spike Owen, Randy St. Clair, Jay Bell, Les Lancaster, Harold Baines, Hall of Famer. The California Angels logo. Von Hayes. Checklist. Garth Iorg. Steve Farr, Jack Clark. Dennis Martinez. Rich Yett. Ed Lynch. Bobby Thigpen. Mike Scioscia. Oakland's power team, Mark McGwire and Jose Canseco. That's a cool card. Ron Gant. Mike Griffin. 2 more packs for Jared. Dodgers and Indians again. Alvin Davis, he was a good hitter back then. 29 homers, 295 average. Checklist. Scott Lusader, Chuck Finley, Dave Dravecki, Bill Buckner. The year after, Andy's on the Angels too, so they got rid of him. Andy Hawkins, Rich Gedman, Sid Fernandez, Rick Rhoden, NL All-Stars Keith Hernandez and Dale Murphy, Roy Smalley, Keith Hughes, Julio Franco. Franco was really good back then. 300 hitter. I feel like he played like into the 2010s. He played for like 30 years. Last pack for Jared. Detroit Tigers. Edgar Martinez. That's his rookie card. Hall of Fame rookie right there. Chili Davis. Alan Trammell. Trammell was amazing that year. Mark Grant. Pete Stanisek. Mike Sharperson. Dennis Lamp. Tim Burke. Willie Wilson. Some prospects of Mario Diaz and Clay Parker. Mitch Williams. Mark Carrion. Don Sutton, another Hall of Famer. Mike Schmidt. There were like 4 or 5 Hall of Famers in that pack. Cool. So there you go, Jared. Excited to DM you some of those players. All right, next up is Brent. All right, there's 6 packs for Brent. It's a sticky wax pack right there. Stuck to the card, that's why. There we go. Mariners and Cubs sticker for Brent. Bob Ojeda. This guy was nasty on RBI Baseball. Bob Boone, one of my all-time favorite baseball names. Bob Boone. Steve Bedrosian. Cecil Fielder. Bill Wegman. Mike Easler. John Smiley. Dan Gladden. Checklist. Dave Stieb. Danny Jackson. Tom Herr. Bruce Hurst. Herm Willingham. And Eddie Williams. Orioles sticker. Prospects Jack Savage and Todd Simmons. Gino Petrali, Dave Magadan, Dwayne Boyce, Juan Samuel. Pitching Magic Mike Scott and Oral Hershiser. Joe McGrain, Bill Gullickson, Andy Van Slyke, good player. George Frazier, All-Star Matt Noakes, Guy Hoffman, Dwayne Ward, Jerry Gleaton, Ozzie Smith. Come on. Some of them don't cooperate. So old. White Sox and Twins. AL All-Stars Matt Noakes and Kirby Puckett. Jim DeShays, Bill Lindsay, Lee Smith, Hall of Famer, B.J. Surhoff, Ken Oberkfell, Scott Bankhead, Bob Brenly, Jack Morris, Hall of Famer, Goose Gossage, Hall of Famer, John Hayban, Fernando Valenzuela, Alfredo Griffin, Andy McGaffigan, Angel Salazar. Halfway through Brent Stack. Cleveland Indians sticker. Mike Devereaux, Luis Polonia, Neil Heaton, George Brett, Hall of Famer obviously, Terry McGriff, Bobby Witt Sr., kind of neat, John Mitchell, Doug DeCinces, Milt Thompson, Rob Doucet, Chuck Krim, Henry Cotto, Brian Fisher, Gary Gaetti. Oh, we hated Gary Gaetti. We hated Gary Gaetti. He tore the Tigers up. This was the year the Tigers, 1987, had the best record but lost the pennant. Mariners and Cubs sticker. Bill Madlock, Gary Lucas, Ruben Sierra, Scott Gereltz, Sean Abner, Jeff Sellers, Gary Carter, Hall of Famer, Willie Randolph, Bob Kipper, Tim Laudner, Luis Aguayo, Tom Candiotti, Ron Robinson, and George Bell. There we go. There we go. 47 home runs, 308 average, MVP. There we go. Finally got one of the 40 home run guys there. Brent's last pack. Angels and Cardinals. Gerald Young, Scott Bradley, Prospects, Damon Berryhill and Jeff Montgomery. Larry Herndon, Tony Armas, Scott Fletcher, Robbie Thompson, Rick Honeycutt, Eric Nolte, Kevin McReynolds, Rick Cerrone, Randy Myers, Joe Niekro, Todd Froworth. So there's Brent. And we are 25% of the way through. Next up is Kevin. Kevin been waiting patiently for his turn here. 3, 6. So hopefully we pull a bunch of 40 home run guys. Bo Jackson would be neat, huh? Yeah. I mean, there are actually some somewhat desirable cards in here. That, I don't know, there's just something about the way the cards look. I don't know, I like them. The old school Braves logo with the Tigers. Jeff Musselman, Bud Black, Willie McGee, Sam Horn, Reed Nichols, Tommy Hinzo, Wade Rowden, Donnie Hill, Franklin Stubbs. Might need to sleeve that Edgar then. All-Star righties, Brett Saberhagen, Mike Witt, and Jack Morris. David Palmer, Larry Sheets. Had a huge year that year. He's probably going to be in your home run derby lineup. Billy Hatcher and Ray Quinones. for the record, Larry Sheets hit 31 homers and batted over 300 that year. Exactly the kind of guy you would like to have in your home run derby lineup. There's the Royals logo. It's a navy blue Royals logo there. Daryl Boston, Ryan Sandberg, there we go. Juan Nieves, Kevin Kaufman, Lee Gutterman, Matt Williams, Jeff Robinson, Mark Davis, Mike Young, Tim Leary, Tony Bernazard, Casey Candelli. Yeah, Larry Sheets, I know. Danny Tartable, there's another one. 34 homers, batted over 300. You got a couple of good ones there. And Ron Oster. And Paul Kilgus. And that's going to be really fun too. All the lesser known guys that are going to make it into this. Just because they had a good year in 1987. Red Sox and Dodgers. Steve Carlton, Mike Jackson, Scott Bales, Dave Parker. Dave Parker was the first home run derby champion in 1985. It's a factoid for everybody. Juan Beniquez, Ty Gainey, Bill Long, Dave Martinez, Greg Brock, Jeff Bover, Jerry Reed, Mark Wassinger, Darrell Evans, one of my favorite players when I was a kid, Darrell Evans, Eric Shaw, Rene Gonzalez. So far, Kevin, you've had a number of power hitters here. It'll be fun too, because you don't have to just choose guys that hit over 20 homers. A better batting average helps too. A's and Astros. Look at the old school Astros. I love that. Dave Winfield, Hall of Famer. Rafael Belliard, Les Stracker, Wally Ritchie, Ed Vandenberg, John Franco, Jose Nunez, Rob Malacote, Floyd Bannister, Jerry Mumphrey, Dale Svume, Dale Murphy. Boom! There we go. 44 home run year. Also one of my favorite players when I was a kid. Dave Hengel, Chris Spire, Chet Lemon. All right, 2 more packs for Kevin. Phillies and Royals. Steve Buechele, Jesse Orosco, Mike Witt, Rick Shue, Jesse Barfield, another power hitter, Rick Manning, Dan Pasqua, Bobby Bonilla. Bobby Bonilla still getting paid to this day. Gene Larkin, World Series hero. I want to say 1992, he had the game-winning hit in the World Series. Checklist. John Cerruti, Jamie Quirk, Bill Dawley, Jim Rice, Hall of Famer. Not a great year for Jim that year. Jeff Reed. All right, Kevin, 1 more pack. Toronto Blue Jays. Bob Melvin, Pat Sheridan, Stan Jefferson, Tom Niedenfuhr, Ken Howell, Mike Davis, Mitchell Webster, Frank White. Prospects, Jeff King and Randall Byers, Curtis Wilkerson, Ron Darling, Dick Schofield, Shane Rawley, Gwynn and Tim Raines, National League batting champs. 2 Hall of Famers there. And Bob Forsch. So there you go, Kevin. I will be in touch later on today with the better players there. All right, Roger is next. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 for Roger. Again, the navy blue Royals, the Kansas City Navies. Okay. Robbie Wine, Jose De Leon, Jamie Moyer, the guy pitched forever. Mark Clear, Ozzie Virgil, Mike Kingery, Atlee Hammaker, Mike Henneman, Lance McCullers, Sr., Ken Dixon, Tim Cruz, Steve Ontiveros. This guy was killed in a boating accident when I was a kid in 1990, I think, or 91. I remember that. Freaked me out. Tim Raines, Hall of Famer. Brett Saberhagen, Kurt Stillwell. Yeah, I know kind of a lot of random stuff about 80s and 90s baseball players. Red Sox and Dodgers stickers. Ted Higuera, Jeff Dedman, Donnell Nixon, Jeff Pearlman, Willie Hernandez, former Cy Young winner and MVP for the Tigers in '84. Benito Santiago, Ray Knight, Mariano Duncan, Dwayne Murphy, Vance Law, Bill Pecota, Dave Concepcion, Mike Lloyd, Rafael Santana, and Willie Frazier. Blue Jays and Expos stickers. Gary Templeton, Wes Gardner, Terry Leach, Gary Ward, Rick Aguilera, Mike Smithson, Kevin Gross, Brooke Jacoby. 32 homers, 300 average that year. Random guy named Brooke Jacoby. Rookie record setter Mark McGwire. Pretty cool card. Not eligible for the tournament because there's no stats on the back. But Ken Caminiti. That would have been his rookie. I think he won an MVP in the 90s. Jack McDowell, rookie. Jody Davis. Robin Yount, Hall of Fame. Vicente Palacios. This is fun. Seeing all these old cards packed fresh like this. Mets and Brewers stickers. Bob Stanley. Howard Johnson. 36 homers. Ron Guidry. Bob Walk. Mark Davidson. Jeff Calhoun. Brett Butler. Ted Power. Game closers John Franco and Steve Petrosian. Jeff Heathcock. Ray Searage. Brian Diet. Paul Molitor. Molitor was a beast that year. 353 average. Hall of Famer. Glenn Hubbard. Mike Moore. Phillies and Royals sticker. Mark Ryle. Pete O'Brien. Candy Maldonado. Eric Plunk. Jimmy Jones. Oil Can Boyd. Dwight Gooden, back when he was a beast. Dave Rietti. Bob Patterson. Al Newman. Don Carmen. Ken Scrom. Bo Diaz. Tony Fernandez. Danny Darwin. Alright, one more pack here for Roger. Braves and Tigers stickers. Joe Sambito, Pascual Perez, John Farrell, Bob Dernier, Bob James, Mickey Hatcher, Juan Castillo, Ted Simmons, Don A's, Nolan Ryan, cool, Phil Bradley, Jim Lindemann, Tom Brookins, Mark McLemore. I felt like there was one stuck there. Mark McLemore and Mike Stanley. So there you go, Roger. Moving right along. Next up is Theron. Theron gets the last 6 in the first box. Go ahead and bring up the on-deck box over here. Alright, Theron. Not sure how many people are actually going to watch this or need to watch this recorded, but just in case. Alright, there's the California Angels logo again. Deion James, Dave Schmidt, Denny Walling, Mickey Brantley, Lance Johnson, Mike Heath, Donnie Moore. Donnie Moore died by suicide after giving up a home run in the playoffs. Ottoby McDowell, Mike Lacoste, Jay Howell, Randy Reedy, Tom Bolton, Daryl Strawberry. That's cool. We're in the cool Mets jersey. Old school Mets jersey there. Massive year for Daryl. Ricky Henderson. Massive year for him too, if I remember correctly. And Doug Drabeck. Pretty good pack. I don't know, there's just something. Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Thanks for hanging out for a little bit. Oakland A's in the Astros sticker. Ed Whitson, Ken Gerhardt, Ralph Bryant, Tony Phillips, Hubie Brooks, Tom Browning, Jose Guzman, Mookie Wilson, Bruce Ruffin, Lloyd Mosby, Steve Kiefer, Pat Clements, Mike Dunn. Cleveland Indians sticker. Greg Booker, Jody Reed, Roger McDowell of Seinfeld fame, Mike Pagliarulo, Jose Lind, Randy Bush, Jeff Stone, Pat Tabler, Cal Daniels, Willie Upshaw, Rocky Childress, Richard Dotson, and Keith Moreland. Mariner sticker. Don Robinson, Greg Maddux, that's cool. Greg Walker, Matt Young. Changing the guard in Boston, Mike Greenwell, Ellis Burks, and Todd Benzinger. Ken Griffey Sr., Fred Lynn, Larry Anderson, Mark Langston. Checklist, Jim Morrison, Jack Lazarco, Charlie Huff, Kelly Downs, and Don Baylor. Chicago White Sox sticker, Jeff Reardon, Roberto Kelly, Tom Henke, Melito Perez, Ricky Horton, Ellis Burks. Prospects, Randy Velarde and Adam Peterson. Dave Henderson, Al Padrique, Gary Reedus, Bob Welch. Bill Ripken and Cal Ripken cards there. I'd like to see the nub of Bill Ripken's bat on that one, wouldn't you? Al Hall, Terry Kennedy, Mike Scott. One more pack for Theron. Angels and Cardinals stickers. Claudell Washington, Mike Diaz, Juan Berenguer, Wade Boggs, All-Star team. Prospects of Felix Fermin and Jesse Reed. Rance Mullenix, what a name, Rance Mullenix. Gary Thurman, Babyface. Ken Daly. I don't know why he's wearing two gloves there, but that's fun. Marty Barrett, Mike Fitzgerald, Chris Bando, Paul Nose, Kenny Williams, Dave Anderson. It's my dad's name. There he is. That's my dad when he played for the Dodgers. Just kidding. Ernest Riles. Okay. There's Theron Stack. Set it out of the way. Next up will be Chad. Alright, Chad, I rigged this so that every card you get is a picture.
Surprise me, Paul. Surprise me.
There's 6 packs for Chad. Chad's going to get the McGuire.
Donation. It's a donation.
Phillies and Royals. Marty Barrett. What's that? No McGuire's yet. No McGuire. Well, McGuire was like on a couple of cards but not like they were like inserts or something. And we haven't seen an Andre Dawson yet either.
Oh man.
But we got a George Bell and a Dale Murphy. So 2 of the 4 guys with the 40 homers. But Mike Fitzgerald, Chris Bando, Paul Nose, Kenny Williams, Dave Anderson, Ernest Riles, Deion James, Dave Schmidt, Denny Walling, Mickey Brantley, Lance Johnson, Mike Heath, Donnie Moore, Ottoby McDowell. Oof. Oof, Chad.
Oof. Was there nobody good in there?
Not really, no.
How
I
many
think
players do we have to pick?
9.
Oof.
I think Marty Barrett might have been your best one.
All right. All right.
That's
Come
really
on,
the
Marty.
first total oof pack right there. All right. Angels and Cardinals sticker. John Kangalazzi, Keith Atherton, Steve Jeltz, Greg Swindell, Nick Asaski. There, you finally got a 20 home run guy. Manny Lee, Bob Nepper, Steve Lyons, Rick Sutcliffe, Bill Schroeder, Marty Clary, Ken Phelps. 20 homers, okay. There's a couple. Harry Spillman, Lou Whitaker, Luis Salazar. Still kind of oof. I mean, I was only kidding when I made that joke, I promise. Here we go, Red Sox and Dodgers. Pitching Magic, Mike Scott and Oral Hershiser. Joe McGrain. Bill Gullickson, Andy Van Slyke. There's a good card. Good hitter. George Frazier. Dennis Rasmussen. Rick Leach. Steve Balboni. Todd Worrell. Kelvin Schiraldi. Brian Smith. Brian Dorsett. Scott Sanderson. Dave LaPointe. And Steve Sachs. Halfway through Chad's pathetic stack so far. Come on, Chad.
Checks out. Checks out. It's coming. It's coming. Don't worry.
Mariners and Cubs. Les Lancaster, Harold Baines. There's a decent one. Jay Aldrich, Jeff Blauser, Eric Bell, Kevin Bass. He was decent. Edwin Nunez, Steve Lake, Mark Thurmond, Kirk McCaskill, Dale Mahorsick, Mike Eldreddy, Gene Nelson, and Chris Brown. Roger, I think you did, if I'm remembering right. You may have gotten the Dale Murphy. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong.
Oh, he didn't get anything. Just leave, Roger.
I'll check and DM all the good players to you. For sure. I'll pick through everybody's stacks and kind of pick out the guys who common sense would say would do pretty well. Baltimore Orioles, Robbie Wine, Jose De Leon, Jamie Moyer, Mark Clear, Ozzie Virgil, 27 homers. Okay. Mike Kingery, Atlee Hammaker, Mike Henneman. Chad, you're going to have the most unknown lineup.
It's all right. It's okay.
Lance McCullers Sr., Ken Dixon, Tim Cruz, Steve Ontiveros. That is bizarre, seeing Tim Cruz and Steve Ontiveros in that pack together, because when I told you guys about that boating accident that Ontiveros died in, Tim Cruz was in the same boat. Weird.
Whoa.
Tim Raines. It's a good one.
There we go.
Brett Saberhagen, Kurt Stillwell. One more pack for Chad. This is it right here. This is the one. George Bell. Andre Dawson.
White Sox, baby.
There you go. There you go. Howard Johnson, 36 homers. Decent. Ron Guidry, Bob Walk, Mark Davidson, Jeff Calhoun, Brett Butler, Ted Power, John Franco and Steve Bedrosian, Jeff Heathcock, Ray Searage, Brian Diet, Paul Molitor, Glenn Hubbard, Mike Moore, and Bob Melvin. Chad.
Oof.
This is how we know you're gonna win the tournament right here. You're gonna have the
Let's
hero.
see.
Some random guy gonna be the hero.
It's not always about home runs.
It's true. Except it's called a home run derby, so. All right.
Little guys can hit home runs.
Jerome. Yeah, more or less it's because I'm making it where singles, doubles, and triples count as home runs.
Yeah.
It's more about like high batting averages than just home runs. So.
Yep.
All right, Jerome. I hope we see a Dawson and a McGuire. I mean, 2 full boxes. Come on. Boston Red Sox. Dennis Martinez, Rich Yett, Ed Lynch, Bobby Thigpen, Mike Scioscia, Mike Griffin, Gerald Young, Scott Bradley. Prospects of Damon Berryhill and Jeff Montgomery, Larry Herndon, Tony Armas, Scott Fletcher, Robbie Thompson. Oakland A's and Astros. Pat Sheridan, Stan Jefferson, Tom Niedenfuer, Ken Howell, Mike Davis, Mitchell Webster, Frank White. Prospects Jeff King and Randall Byers, Curtis Wilkerson, Ron Darling, Dick Schofield, Shane Raleigh, Gwynn and Raines, Bob Forsch, Claudell Washington. Dan, you were up first. I don't recall what was in your stack, but I think you did okay. You might have been the one that got the Edgar Martinez rookie, too. That was early. Don't quote me on that. I have a stack of 90 cards to weed through there for you. Royals sticker. Oh, double sticker in this pack. Boom. What a bonus for Jerome. Phillies and Royals. John Marzano, Frank DePino, Dan Plesac, Terry Harper, Pat Perry, Rick Russell, Frank Tanana, John Kruk, it's a good one, Nate Snell, Rich Rodriguez, Andres Galarraga, Charlie Leibrandt, prospects of Greg Jelks and Tom Newell, Jimmy Key. Blue Jays. Lee Lacy. Brad Havens. Dave Stewart. Tim Wallach. He was a good player. Really good. Frank Williams. Jerry Brown. Chris James. Nelson Liriano. Steve Stanisek. Charles Hudson. Mike LaValliere. Frank Viola. Detroit Tigers, Casey Candelli, Ron Oster, Paul Kilgus, Bob Ojeda, Bob Boone, Steve Bedrosian, Cecil Fielder, Bill Wegman. Oh no! I opened my window and the wind just blew everything over. Oh, it's a disaster. Total disaster. Yikes. Sorry about that, guys. All kinds of stuff went flying. Sorry. That's funny. Yeah, Tim Wallach was really good. Really good. All right. Where'd we leave off? Bill Wegman. Did my camera move a little bit too? I think it did. Scared me. Mike Easler, John Smiley, Dan Gladden, all-star team of Eric Davis. I'd like to see him in this as well. He was a monster that year. Roberto Kelly, Tom Henke. All right, Jerome's last pack. And my dog's going nuts. It's a disaster. A disaster, I tell you. Dodgers and Indians. Carlton Fisk. Sean Hilligus. There's another one of those Mark McGuire inserts that doesn't count for the tournament. Zane Smith, Mark Williamson, Alan Ashby, Jim Presley, Jim Eppard and Joey Meyer prospects. Eric King, Gus Polidor, Larry Parrish, Craig Lefferts, Carney Lansford, Tim Flannery with the surfboard, love that, and Bob Stanley. There we go, Jerome. It's this laying over here. Oh man, so much stuff went flying. Alright, Jerome. John, you're going to be next. Six packs for John. There's three. Three more. Thanks for hanging out, John. Hopefully I can pull something decent for you. Get you a nice rookie card or a few Hall of Famers and some cards that might do well in the tournament. Mets and Brewers. There's an all-star team of Juan Samuel and a checklist. Jeff Musselman, Bud Black, Willie McGee, Sam Horn, Reed Nichols, Tommy Hinzo, Wade Rowden, Donnie Hill, Franklin Stubbs, Brett Saberhagen, Mike Witt, Jack Morris, David Palmer, Larry Sheets, makes another appearance there, Billy Hatcher. Make no mistake, some of these guys are not known players who actually had a huge year in 1987, so they'll look good in your lineup. Braves and Tigers sticker, Bill Madlock, Gary Lucas, Scott Greltz, Sean Abner, Jeff Sellers, Gary Carter, Willie Randolph, Bob Kipper, Tim Laudner, Luis Aguayo, Tom Candiotti, Ron Robinson, George Bell. There we go. George Bell for you, John. AL MVP that year. Alan Trammell should have won MVP that year, but George Bell did. Mariners and Cubs. Mike Schmidt and Gary Carter card. Two Hall of Famers there. Kind of neat. Dave Meads. Fred Manrique. Andre Dawson. So, John, there you go. You got the 40 home run guys. There's Andre Dawson. 49 homers. Rob Deere. There's the Tom Glavine rookie. John's tearing it up. Dave Valley, Eddie Milner, Kirk Gibson, Carmelo Martinez, Eddie Murray, Tim Belcher, Reggie Jackson. Crappy year that year. Bob Sebra. Lots of Hall of Famers, a rookie card, a couple 40 home run guys. We're only halfway through. Still time to hit a McGuire. Keith Miller, Brian Downing, Glenn Wilson, Vince Coleman and Tony Gwynn, John Morris, Ron Kittle, R.J. Reynolds, Steve Lombardozzi, Tom Hume, Kelly Gruber, John Davis, Danny Cox, Spike Owen, Randy St. Clair, Jay Bell. Oakland A's. Ray Quinones, Dan Petrie, Johnny Ray, Jeff Russell, Jose Uribe, Terry Steinbach, Joey Cora, Al Nipper, Keith Hernandez, also of Seinfeld fame there, Tim Stoddard, Tim Tuffle, Greg Gagne, Mike Maddox, and Joe Carter. There's Brent. Brent, you missed your stack.
Sorry.
You're good. You're good. I know you're busy today. All right, John, last pack here. Cleveland Indians sticker. Kendall Burkfell, Scott Bankhead, Bob Brenly, Jack Morris, Goose Gossage. John's getting all the Hall of Famers. John Hayban, Fernando Valenzuela, Alfredo Griffin, Andy McGaffigan, Angel Salazar, Jack Savage and Todd Simmons prospects. Gino Petrali, Dave Magadan, Dwayne Bice, and Juan Samuel. John, I gotta say that was you're gonna have a pretty good lineup. Some good players, good seasons in there for sure. Some of those guys, maybe that you've never even heard of, actually will stack up pretty nicely in the tournament. All right, we have 3 people left. Deb Talmar is going to be next. 6 packs for Deb. There they are. All right, Deborah. Good luck to you. Still waiting to see a McGuire. And a Canseco. We haven't seen a Canseco either. Lots of these Oakland A's stickers, though. Ed Romero, Len Dykstra, Dave Winfield, Hall of Fame player. Rafael Belliard, Les Straker, Wally Ritchie, Ed Vandenberg, John Franco, Jose Nunez, Rob Malakote, Floyd Bannister, Jerry Mumphrey, Dale Svume, Dale Murphy, boom, there you go. Deb's got a 40 home run guy, and Dave Hengel. It's one thing about my my dice game is it doesn't differentiate between a 20 home run guy and a 40 home run guy. So I've been thinking of tinkering around with it and kind of reworking the rules on it a little bit, try to make the game more interesting. Maybe use a 20-sided dice to make more categories and those kinds of things. I don't know. We'll see. Blue Jays and Expos. Melito Perez, Ricky Horton, Randy Velarde and Adam Peterson. Prospects. Dave Henderson, Al Padrique, Gary Reedus, Bob Welch. Again, Bill Ripken and Cal Ripken. Al Hall, Terry Kennedy, Mike Scott, Alvin Davis. He was very good. Checklist and Scott Lusader. We haven't seen a Barry Bonds either. Angels. Chris Bosio, Charlie Pulio, Bill Ripken. There's the nub. This is a year early. It's just a number 3 on that nub. It's funny that they have it on this card, though. Bill Doran, Bill Wilkinson, John Tudor, Dave Bergman, Darryl Miller, Bob Brower, Kurt Young, Keith Comstock, Todd Benzinger, and Barry Lyons. All right, California Angels sticker. I feel like we're getting like all the same stickers. Mike Smithson, Kevin Gross, Brooke Jacoby, 32 homers and a 300 average that year. He's in. There's that rookie record setter, Mark McGuire again. He's holding the ball where he broke the record in August. 8/14/87, he hit his 39th homer to set the record. Home runs. Ken Caminiti, Jack McDowell, Jody Davis, Robin Yount. He'll be in the tournament. Vicente Palacios, Edgar Martinez rookie. We've got a couple of those. Chili Davis, Alan Trammell. He'll be in the tournament. Deb's got a formidable team here. Not going to lie. Mark Grant, Pete Stanisek. And she's still got 2 packs to go. Blue Jays and Expos, Greg Brock, Joe Bover, Jerry Reed, Mark Wazinger, Darrell Evans, Eric Shaw, Rene Gonzalez, Mike Devereaux, Luis Polonia, Neil Heaton, George Brett, Terry McGriff, Bobby Witt Sr., John Mitchell, Doug DeCinces. Last pack for Deb. Red Sox and Dodgers. Mike Sharperson, Dennis Lamp, Tim Burke, Willie Wilson. Some prospects of Mario Diaz and Clay Parker. Mitch Williams, Mark Carrion, Don Sutton, Hall of Famer, Mike Schmidt, Hall of Famer, Dominican Dynamite, George Bell and Pedro Guerrero, David Green, Tommy John, Brett Gideon, Tom Bernansky, and Bill Landrum. So there you go, Deb. Deb should be happy about that lineup. A lot better than Chad's. All right, Dan O'Day. In the battle of the Dans, who's going to win it? Here we go, Dan. 6 packs for you, sir. It's down to Dan and Judah. A's and Astros sticker. Jeff Treadway, Mark Eichhorn, Gene Garber, Terry Pendleton, Steve Crawford, Wallace Johnson, Juan Berenguer, Mike Diaz, Carmen Castillo, Rafael Palmeiro, Jim Wynn, Pedro Guerrero. Yeah, nothing wrong with 27 homers and a 338 average like that for Pedro. Cecil Cooper, Andres Thomas, and Mike Boddicker. White Sox and Twins, Steve Buechele, Steve Longneck Buechele, Jesse Orosco, Mike Witt, Rick Shue, Jesse Barfield, Rick Manning, Dan Pasqua, Bobby Bonilla, Gene Larkin, an all-star of Jack Clark, Checklist, Garth Iorg, Steve Farr, and Jack Clark. This is shaping up to be a formidable lineup as well. Tiger sticker. Did they make? They had to have made stickers for every team. You would think. We've seen these stickers, these same stickers, like the whole way through. Milt Thompson, Rob Ducey, Chuck Krim, Henry Cotto, Brian Fisher, Gary Gaetti, All-Star of Alan Trammell, a checklist, Dave Stieb, Danny Jackson, Tom Herr, Bruce Hurst, Herm Winningham, Eddie Williams, Shawan Dunston. Come on, McGuire. Bo Jackson. I'd have to look. I don't know if they made a Bo for this set. Cleveland Indians. Jim Clancy, Thad Bosley, Tom Foley, Doug Jones, Jim Sundberg, Ozzie Guillen, John Shelby, Jim Gantner, Jim Acker, Jeff Ballard, Craig Reynolds, John Moses, and Kurt Ford. Mets and Brewers. Chris Spire, Chet Lemon, Ed Whitson, Ken Gerhart, Ralph Bryant, Tony Phillips, Hubie Brooks, Tom Browning. If you have an iron stomach, look up the Tom Browning incident on YouTube. Jose Guzman, Mookie Wilson, Bruce Ruffin, Lloyd Mosby, and Steve Kiefer. Last pack for Dan O'Day. White Sox. Jose Cruz, Harold Reynolds, Lee Tunnell, Walt Terrell, Mark Ryle, Pete O'Brien, Candy Maldonado, Eric Plunk, Jimmy Jones, Oil Can Boyd, Dave Rietti, Bob Patterson, Al Newman, and Don Carmen. There you go, Dan. All right. Last but not least, we have Judah. Last 6 packs coming right up. Made pretty good time on this, I'd say. Opening like 1,000 cards or something. Mariner sticker. Dave Dravecki, Bill Buckner, Andy Hawkins, Rich Gedman, Sid Fernandez, Rick Roden. There's Keith Hernandez and Dale Murphy, Roy Smalley, Keith Hughes, Julio Franco, Rob Murphy. The shortstops, AL shortstops, Tony Fernandez, Cal Ripken, and Alan Trammell. Juan Agosto. Angels and Cardinals, Ken Griffey Sr., Fred Lynn. Talk about consistency. Just happened to turn his card over. Over a 6-year span, Fred Lynn. Home runs were 21, 22, 23, 23, 23, and 23. Larry Anderson, Mark Langston, Checklist, Jim Morrison, Jack Lazarco, Charlie Huff, Kelly Downs, Don Baylor, Gary Templeton, Wes Gardner, Terry Leach, Gary Ward, and Rick Aguilera. The Blue Jays sticker. Pat Clements, Mike Dunn, Jeff Reardon, Andre Dawson, All-Star. Checklist, John Cerruti, Jamie Quirk, Bill Dawley, Jim Rice, Jeff Reed, Don Robinson, Greg Maddux, Greg Walker, Matt Young, Mike Greenwell, Ellis Burks, and Todd Benzinger. 3 packs left. All I want to see is a Mark McGwire. Come on. There's the Royals. Dan Quisenberry, Kurt Manwaring, and John Burkett, prospects. Cecil Espy, Gene Walter, Jack Howell, Lance Parrish. Classic relief, Dave Rietti and Dan Plesac, Greg Matthews, Brad Arnsberg, Junior Ortiz, Bert Blyleven. Prospects of Felix Fermin and Jesse Reed, Rance Mullenix, Gary Thurman, Ken Daly. Mariners. Mike Lacoste, Jay Howell, Randy Reedy, Tom Bolton, Darryl Strawberry, there's a nice one, Ricky Henderson, Doug Drabeck, Steve Carlton. He would have been real old at that point. My age, 43. Mike Jackson, Scott Bales, Dave Parker, Juan Beniquez, Ty Gainey, Bill Long, Dave Martinez. Last pack. Are we really going to make it through 2 boxes without a McGwire or a Canseco? Come on now. They did that on purpose. Dodgers and Indians. Ken Scrom, Bo Diaz, Tony Fernandez, Danny Darwin, Daryl Boston, Ryan Sandberg, Juan Nieves, Kevin Kaufman, Lee Gutterman, Matt Williams, Jeff Robinson, Mark Davis, Mike Young, Tim Leary, and Tony Bernazard. And there you have it. There it is, Brent. There it is. 2 boxes. Gone. Super fun. Super fun seeing all those old school players. Really excited about this home run derby. I'll be in touch with everybody later on today. I'm going to go through your stacks and pick out the players who would be most suitable for the game and let you choose a lineup of 9. So after that, I'm hoping that everybody can get back to me with their lineups by Friday afternoon, so that maybe Friday night we can start the game and maybe get through the whole game. We'll see. At which point I'll reveal the mystery cards as well. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Brent, we'll catch you soon.